G'day punters, I'm Mark Duclos. Welcome along to Behind the Boxes, and what a show we have for you. Of course, we're just a couple of nights away from the running of the world's richest greyhound race, the $1 million to the winner, Tab $1 Million Chase. It is race 9 on the card at Wentworth Park this Saturday evening at 9:50 p.m. Of course, Jodie and Andy Lord, they hold all the aces with 3 of the runners. Timmy Newbold, my co-host, joins me as always. Hey, Battler, I don't know about you. I can barely contain myself, mate. I can't wait for this night. It is going to be a cracker.
Yeah, Duke, we've been waiting a long time when the race was postponed last year. One in 2022, and what a beauty we've got on Saturday night. I can't wait. I'm like you. She's a pearl. She's been dominant for the last few months around Wentworth Park, the extra egg winner. And she was outstanding, running 29.30, winning a semi-final last week. But not only the MDC, Duke, it's a tremendous night of racing, right aboard with all of the other feature races. So, yeah, really looking forward to getting there on Saturday night.
So one owner and trainer will win $1 million for sure. And if punters get to Wentworth Park on Saturday night, they can buy a ticket for $20. And what happens with that, Timmy, is they get a chance to win $1 million. So one person's name will be drawn out. They will automatically win $10,000. They'll then get to choose from 100 envelopes. And Battler, in one of those envelopes, will say, you are the winner of $1 million. It's going to cost them $20. They buy the tickets at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. Just another great promotion from us here at GRNSW.
Fantastic promotion. I wish I could enter you.
So do I. I'd buy more than one.
I'd be having a crack for sure and certain. That's a great initiative. If anyone was even 50-50 about going on Saturday night, surely that's tipped you over the edge to make sure you're going to get there for a chance to win $1 million.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we've got a massive show coming up, Timmy. We're going to profile most of the big races on Saturday night. I actually journeyed down to the Southern Highlands on Monday and got an exclusive interview with Jodie and Andy Lord, and I've got to tell you, wait till you see the property. It's out of this world. But the other big news, of course, Battler, we are live on Saturday night on Fox League from around 9:40 p.m., part of a brand new partnership that we've signed with Fox Sports. They will be broadcasting the $1 Million Chase for the very first time.
Yeah, great news. No doubt there is a crossover between rugby league fans and greyhound racing, particularly the 18 to 35-year-olds. So, yeah, I think it's great news. It can only bode well for greyhound racing, getting those extra eyes on the big final. So, yeah, we're going to be a little part of that coverage.
All right, let's get into our preview of Wentworth Park on Saturday night. It's a 10-race card. Race 1 kicks off at 6:32. The first of the features, the Tab $1 Million Chase Maiden. It's worth $15,000 to the winner. I've got a very keen interest in this, Timmy, as you know, but our boy Duke, trained by Rob Tyler, was the fastest heat winner, clocking 30 and 18. He had the rails in his heat. He comes up with the rails in the final as well.
Had a little bit of a stumble shortly after box rise and then went quickly after hitting the ground. He only ran a 5.64 opening fraction, but with a cleaner getaway, there's no doubt he'll get down to around the 5.50 mark or thereabouts. Clearly the best of all of the heats. He's got his alley. That greyhound drawn an A+ in my opinion. I think he's clearly the one to beat, and he'll go around at a pretty short favourite, Duke. Although, you know, I'm hoping your bloke, we don't share, runs a big race for you.
Yeah, look, he's trial fast there, Timmy. He's broken 30 seconds in a trial. He's gone well in a post-to-post. He's the baby of the field. He's only 18 months of age. I can tell you this. So we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. Andy Lord rang me this morning, and he said he went up the straight as well as She's a Pearl and Coast Model this morning. He said he is jumping out of his skin. Of course, the negative for us is he comes up with box number 4, but he's a half-brother to Doonan, who goes around in the $1 Million Chase final, a half-brother to Tiger Jack. Ever since he was broken in, he's trialled the joint down. So we're crossing fingers for a little bit of luck for We Don't Share. Obviously, our boy Duke, for me, is the hardest to beat, but I'll be in the corner of the blue in the Tab $1 Million Chase Maiden race 2 on the card.
And for those who are watching this show, I can guarantee it's trialled very well all the way through because I've been getting updated text messages all the way through.
I never leave you out. All right. Race 4 on the card at Wentworth Park on Saturday night, the Group 3 ladies bracelet final. And Timmy, this is a real intriguing race because there are a number of chances, particularly given the way that the box draw has fallen. French Martini, the fastest qualifier, going 29.73.
Yeah, and she's a real talent. We saw her debut at the Gardens running a near track record, 29.22. She's in the Carapeta Lagosiani. She began well, charged to the top, and she just put her rivals away. 29.73, ran 5.46, 17.95, and hammered home in 11.78. I thought McKean Bale had a great chance, though, Duke, from the inside alley. Ran 30.07 in the heat. I think a benefit out of a look around Wentworth Park now. She's beautifully drawn on the rail. She's run 29.28 around Sandown Park. So it was, there's no doubt I think she'll break 30 seconds with a look around Wentworth Park. Well drawn in box number 1. I think she's a fabulous chance, McKean Bale, from the inside.
I'm going to go with Ties That Bind. Look, I think she's probably the class runner of this race, Timmy. I know she comes up with not a great draw in box number 3, but she's an 8-time winner here, 29.74 best. She found a best last week when she won a heat running 29.87. So she's not that far away from a PB. And of course, she gets the polish put on her by Frankie Hurst, who knows what it takes to win a big race. So I'm with Ties That Bind in the Group 3 ladies bracelet final. It's worth $25,000 to the winner. The first leg of the quaddie kicks off with the Group 3 Bob Payne Sprint Final, another race worth $25,000 to the winner, and another race with a number of different scenarios here, Timmy. I know Andy's very keen about Grim Madara off box number 1. He's maintained this dog's got a 29.6, 29.7 running him at Wentworth Park. He hasn't put that time on the clock at the moment, but he comes up with a rails draw.
Yeah, there's chance, but I just looking at his racing traits, Duke, he's had box 4 and 5 at Wentworth Park in his past couple, and he runs a straight line from that alley or those alleys. So I'm not really sure whether box 1 is going to suit him. He hasn't had inside box 3 yet. I thought one at a bit of value here, Flighty Fernando. I thought his run was terrific. On an each-way basis, I think he's a great gamble. He's a consistent dog. He gives his all every time he goes around. From that real soft draw, I think you just park behind the pace. And if Grim Madara does get off at that first turn, there might be a chance he does that if he does what he's done at his past couple and runs a straight line from a box 1 at Wentworth Park. They can do that. He might just get a nice little run through at the first turn. On an each-way basis, I'm in Flighty Fernando's camp, Duke.
All right, I'm tipping the red Grim Madara, sticking solid with the kennel there in the Group 3 Bob Payne Sprint Final, worth $25,000 to the winner. The first of the real big ones on Saturday night at Wentworth Park is race 6. It's the Masters Meteor Final, $100,000 to the winner. And Timmy, look, trainer Johnny Richardson hasn't been in the best of health lately. Sunburn Highway, the defending champion, the last time this Masters Meteor was run and won, comes up with box 4. He was the fastest qualifier of the 3 heats.
Would it be a fairy tale lining up for his last run on Saturday night? You can't underestimate him. You can't knock him one little bit. 39-time winner at the track. He's a remarkable greyhound, Judith and John. I'd love to see him take it out and go out in that way. He deserves to go out in that fashion, Sunburn Highway. He's got a tremendous chance. I thought Fire Legend inside alley would run a big race here. I know Mark Moroney has had this race in mind last year when I spoke to him at the Casino Cup meeting. He knew when, he had the age that he was going to turn 4 in April and it would be perfect for this race. He got very tired in the latter stages in his heat last week, but I think he'll strip a lot better. That was his first 500-metre run for a little while. So from box 1, I'm with Fire Legend, Duke.
Yeah, I can tell you, Yogi told me, mate, that he came into that race very fresh with Fire Legend. He hadn't been able to get the runs into him that he wanted to. And you're right, he will strip fitter. I'm in the corner of Coringa Lucy for Mitch Northfield, a proven 29.70 winner at Wentworth Park. I think she's going to get a little bit of room to move. The Sunburn Highway drawn on her outside. We know he runs that straight line into that first turn. And again, she's proven herself. She's a classy conveyancer, and second behind Jungle Juice in the Gold Bullion at Albion Park. And from box number 3, I think if she can step, she's going to land up on the pace. So you're with Fire Legend. I am with Coringa Lucy. That is race 6 on the card at Wenny, the Masters Meteor Final, worth $100,000 to the victor. Race 7, Timmy, is the Group 3 Gold Cup. It's worth $50,000 to the winner. Zipping Kansas returned to, I wouldn't say his best form, but he did the job last week in his heat, clocking 42.1. He comes up with a sticky alley again. He draws box 5, and it's sticky because the fast beginner Super Estrella is on his outside, and we've seen in basically every one of his latest runs. His box manners are absolute nightmare.
They're atrocious. They really are. Geez, he's got pace in 3 and 4 and 6. He's in a world of pain if he bombs it like he has at his past few. I don't know where he'll get to. He'll need a miracle to get through. But if he does begin, which he can begin, we've seen him begin. If he does that, we know he's got that unbelievable high speed through the early and middle part. He'll get mobile and then rush. But I couldn't take the price, particularly with the greyhounds drawn around him and the way he's beginning. I've got to be with Super Estrella. You know what you get with her. She's a fast beginner. She's almost faultless at box rise. She's got speed. I think she can carve across, take up the running. If she goes to the top, Duke, you know she'll run a 41.9, 42 or thereabouts. May go a little bit quicker on a quick track, but she makes her own luck on the speed.
She gets the perfect run in my book, Timmy. We got Zipping Kansas in box 5. As we said, his box manners lately have been terrible. In your time in box 7, not a noted beginner, does want to get off the track. Mixed recall in that race that Super Estrella won the heat, showed a lot of early toe. So where do you map Zipping Kansas? You just can't see him getting a run in that run to the first turn. If that's the case, he gets spat out the back.
He does, Duke. You know, we can say how we think it'll be run, but he might begin. So we won't know until box rise. But I think when you're looking at it as a punting race, I couldn't take $1.75, $1.80 Zipping Kansas. If he got out to $2.50, $3, which he won't,
no,
you know, you might take that chance. But at that price, you could leave me out. That's why I've got to be with her, because as you just said, he could very well get spat out the back if those other 3 greyhounds, Hank the Hustler, Mixed Recall, and Super Estrella, all begin. So they'll be all looking for the lead. So yeah, he does. You'll know your fate at box rise, I think, with Zipping Kansas, Duke.
Yeah, okay. We are both with Super Estrella to win the Group 3 Gold Cup final, race 7 on the card at Wentworth Park. Race 8, Timmy, the $1 million chase consolation. Very quickly here, Fernando Hunter draws his box number 2. He had 7 in his semi-final of the chase. No luck. We know what sort of a motor he's got. I think he just parks behind them and wins.
Yeah, I mean, he's corner as well, Duke. Beautifully drawn. Good run in the semi-final. Very quick PB at Wentworth Park. Yeah, I think he's one of the better gambles on the card, actually.
All right, the one everyone in greyhound racing world is waiting for is race 9 at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. It is the 4th running of the TAB $1 million chase. It is worth a cool $1 million to the winner. And Timmy, She's a Pearl comes up with box 4. Look, Good Odds Cash has been terrific lately. She hasn't been able to lead She's a Pearl. Photo Man draws box 3 inside of her. We've seen She's a Pearl win from any draw that she comes up with. She's shooting for 12 straight on Saturday night. Do you think that she'll make it the neat dozen?
I think she will, Duke. She's right in the zone. She's faultless at box rise and has got that amazing speed. She equaled Fernando Bale's second section record, 17:55 to the top corner in the semi-final. If Good Odds Cash had drawn underneath her, I could make a much, much better case for her. But gee, she needs to come out smoking, and She's a Pearl needs to miss it just jib a bit for Good Odds Cash to get across. In saying that, She's a Pearl has been limping, but she didn't fly out in the Golden Easter egg. So she's, but I think if you go back, out of 11 of her last 12 wins, she's limping. Yeah. So look, she's the one to beat. I've got to be with her. She's I couldn't take the price, take the $1.40 in it, but she does look the winner for mine. The only little hang up, Duke, and I went back and had a couple of looks at Photo Man, and when he's had box 5 at Sandown Park, he has began quickly and run a straight line. So whether he could be a little hang up if he did begin like he has in Victoria. But look, I really think it is her race to lose. Coast Model could make a case for drawing that beautiful alley box number 1. But yeah, she's a pearl for me.
All right. Frankie Hurst knows what it takes to win $1 million chase. Of course, he took it out with Good Odds Harada. And Brad Adam, our intrepid reporter, caught up with Frankie earlier today.
Frank, 2019 $1 million chase winner, trainer of Good Odds Harada. What's your memories of that night?
Oh, most of it's just a blank unless I watch the TV or, you know, I've got the biggest picture you've ever seen in my lounge room, and I see that every day. But on the night, it was just unreal, mate. Nothing like it. Never experienced anything in my life, and I don't think you even have to win to get the buzz, mate.
Obviously, you've won one now.
Yeah.
What sort of dog does it take to win $1 million chase?
A very good one. Yeah. Look, I mean, there's no age restrictions on it, and dogs can qualify at Gunnedah and Broken Hill and places like that. So there's no excuse for, you know, not having all the best dogs there. And at the end of the day, it is a best dogs in Australia race, and it takes a special dog to win it. With a lot of luck, of course. There's a lot of luck in greyhound racing, but you know, I don't think you'll ever win it with a 29.9 dog.
This year you line up with Good Odds Cash. You qualified as the National Sprint Champion for New South Wales back in 2021. Have you had a little reminisce to think, gee, if the race wasn't postponed last year, where you might have been placed?
Not really. No, you got to take things as they come, mate. And she was going super at one stage there, but then she got an injury and she was off for a couple of months, you know. So, you know, it'd give us more time to set her for this race, which she's been set for all along, you know. If it would have came up then, you know, I don't know whether she'd have been in it. So it's turned out good for us, I'd say.
So you've won the national sprint last year. You've then had to put her away, and now to get her up and running and be in the final is some training effort. I suppose it's been well planned.
Yes, it's been well planned. It was, you know, that was our goal, you know, just not to win it, to be in it. That was our goal. So we took her along gradually, you know, in 400-metre races. She won the Maitland Cup as a lead-up, and then she went to Wendy and sort of things like that, and she ran into Andy's good bitch about 3 times and finished second or whatever, you know. But that was a plan, you know. She was there racing and getting fit all along, you know. And as I said before, you know, she'll be right on the night, and that's what counts, you know.
29.53 is the best time around Wenty. Have you got a peaking?
Yeah, I think she can go a bit better than that, you know, honestly. You know, off what she trials and comparing her to other dogs and things like that, you know, she's probably not as good as Harada because, I mean, he was an out-and-out champion. He's won it. He's a champion, you know. There's no disputing that. But, you know, she's sort of not far behind him on times, and maybe, you know, she can. I think she can improve. If she finds the front virtually straight away, I think she'll run a 29.3 or 29.4 as well.
The box gods weren't kind to you. Box 5, it's a tough draw.
A very tough draw, and you know, all the speeds around her. You know, like the best dog in the best race bitch in Australia at the moment's drawn underneath her. So you know, that don't help.
You speak of She's a Pearl having box 4, trained by Andy and Jodie Lord, and I believe Andy had a hand in Good Odds Cash and for Good Odds Cash coming to your kennel. Can you just explain that?
Yes, I rang Subby, who bred them, to try and buy a couple of pups out of the litter when they were about 6 weeks of age, and he originally said there's none for sale. Then he said, look, I've got 3, a dog and 2 bitches. I'll sell you one of the bitches. I'd like you to have one of the bitches. I said, okay. You know, I'll pick her up on the weekend or when she gets her papers or whatever. The deal's done. And he said, well, she's not here, mate. He said, the fire went through here and wiped us out. She said, Andy Lord's. So I rang Andy and spoke to him and said, there's 2 black bitches there, pick me one. And he did. He took a photo of one and texted it to us, and he said, that's good odds cash, Frank. So, I'm very grateful for Andy,
So Good Odds Cash salutes this Saturday night. Andy's in for a finder's fee, I'm sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
So of the main dangers, obviously you think she's a pearl. Anybody else to watch out for? Or if you had a look at the field, what else do you think of the field?
Look, I think any of them could win it, to be truthful. It's a lottery. They're 8 top dogs, and I mean, luck in running, mate. Luck in running, the box draw, what happens at the first turn. It's all going to come into play, So, I mean, you can't discount any dog. And they're all well trained. They got there. They didn't get there by fluke.
What would it mean to you to win your second $1 million chase?
Oh, I don't know. You better ask Peter Gagliani that. He's already won 2. He'd know what it's like. It'd be sensational, mate. As I say, it's not the money anymore. It's the prestige, the accomplishment. You're doing something right to be in these races. You've got a nice dog. It all adds up. But I mean, it's all part of the game. I mean, who doesn't want to be a winner? Who doesn't want to win a $1 million race? I don't know anyone. Do you?
Frank Hurst there talking about the chances of Good Odds Cash in the $1 million chase final. Hey, Timmy, I'll tell you what, I was up very early on Monday morning, very, very early, to get to the Southern Highlands, to get to Jodie and Andy Lord's property. And I've got to tell you, it is an absolute showpiece. And here is our story on the premier training combination of Jodie and Andy Lord and their property, Clover Park. It is one of the most preeminent greyhound establishments anywhere in the world. Clover Park at Gunning in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales is home to champion trainers Jodie and Andy Lord. And whilst their facilities are often dreamt of, they are rarely created. There's the immaculate grass straight track with electronic timing, climate-controlled racing kennels, and a plethora of puppy yards holding potential future champions. It's carved into a picture-perfect countryside setting, but it's a far cry from what it was 20 years ago.
Bare block of land. Didn't even have a driveway. I cut it off my neighbour's property, so it was basically just a block with hills on it and full of grass and rocks.
It's an absolute showpiece. Do you know how much money you've invested into it?
Over $1.5 million, I reckon, maybe more. I don't know. I remember my neighbour. He was a ex-war veteran. He said to me when he cut it off, he was a really genuine bloke. Because I couldn't get land anywhere, and he gave me half his, and it wasn't for the money because he charged me $50,000, And he said to me, one day this will be paradise. And I sort of laughed. I thought, yeah, one day I'll be just fixing it up and sell it and move somewhere else. But he was right. It's turned out a nice property.
While Jodie Lord prefers to take a back seat when it comes to media commitments, it's not the only reason she is rarely seen at the track. Her day starts whilst most of us are still warmly tucked up in bed.
I get up about 4:45, have coffee, watch the news, go out, wake Andy up, come down, let the brood bitches, pups out, then Paul and I will start letting dogs out in the main shed, and just goes on from that for the rest of the day.
Bear in mind, she's got 2 little kids, 6 and 7, so she's got to be in the house by 8 o'clock to get them off to school. Plus she's got to cook our dinner, and wash our clothes and do everything else and do dogs. She's pretty amazing at what she does.
Could you do what you do without Jodie?
Not a chance. Not a chance. And I know a lot of people sort of, don't think that Jodie, she's just a name, but she's not. I don't think I'd be successful. I'd just be another trainer, It takes 2 and it's a big job. I'm obviously more passionate than Jodie because she's not from a greyhound background. Not that I am, but I just love greyhounds, always have. It's always what I wanted to do. But without Jodie, you sort of, you know, I just wouldn't probably do it. I'd have a few dogs in work and that'd be it, you know.
There's so much more work behind. When the boys leave to the dogs, there's more feeding of the race dogs. There are the dogs that are here. There's pups to be done. There's broods to be done. It's full on.
The rise to the top has not been an easy one for Andy Lord, and it was something he never envisaged when growing up on the wrong side of the tracks.
Nah, not till I met Jodie, because before that it was, you know, everyone was out for themselves. You had to survive, and I did come from a tough background. I spent a lot of time in boys' homes and that sort of stuff. Come from a pretty poor background, but I think that's made me a better person. You know, I've worked hard and straightened myself up once I met Jode, and I've done pretty good, you know.
Having everything at their disposal without having to leave the property is a key factor to their success.
It is. I think the less you leave home with a greyhound, and I watch a lot of trainers, you know, they'll go to Appin, then they've got to go to the vet, then they've got to go here, they've got to go there, you know, like somewhere to swim them, because the facilities in Sydney, no one has them, so they've got to travel to them all the time. I think that plays a big part, you know, in greyhounds' recovery from races and that. Greyhounds need to rest. Like ours get out 6 or 7 times a day, but it's only for a quick empty, bit of sun, back in, and mate, they got the fire going in winter, the air conditioning in summer, and they just relax. They're not, you know, they're not dogs that you want to get excited all the time. And the day they do go to the races, they're busting. I think it's important.
In recent years, the Lords have swept all before them in New South Wales, winning multiple trainers' premierships and preparing numerous Group 1 winners. And this Saturday night, they'll rug up 3 runners in the $1 Million Chase final.
But it's Coast Model left a long leader, 6 lengths in front of Corborn Hooper. Fernando Hunter getting up on the inside, then Miss Esme. But Coast Model went coast to coast and won it brilliantly on a night full of stars. She's the Pearl, is brightest of them all, and she dazzles again. War Weapon's coming home out wider. It's Doonan from War Weapon. Doonan rode the bump, repelled the challenge, and won it.
The sprinting sensation She's a Pearl is chasing her 12th win in succession, and amongst those victories was a memorable win in the Group 1 Golden Easter Egg.
But she's settled in here really well. She's just a casual, happy little dog, isn't she? She loves to be patted. She just loves a bit of attention. And she just seems to do it all by herself. There's just nothing different about her.
Well, nothing will change here, so she has missed it on the odd occasion, but I still think when she does miss it, it brings her back to a 5:38 bitch instead of a 5:30 bitch, and that's still really quick. So it's, I don't know, she's a race dog and she knows how to do it. Frank's dog's he's got an enormous chance, Frank. His bitch has come good at the right time, and he's going for a second $1 million chase, so, you know, look, there's a good reason why any dog should win it.
Coast Model comes up with a coveted inside box, and Andy believes she has an undeniable chance of causing an upset.
She was going terrific from outside draws, and actually it was her brother, Cop Magnet, give her a whack one night, and I don't know, it was for she kept drawing box 8, you know, continuously, and she was pulling out, but she slowly got her confidence back, and the other night they tripped her a bit on the corner and she kept going, which I thought was good. She still has to do everything right from the red, but she is the knockout dog. She's got pace, she rails, and she can consistently run 29.60, you know. I think in that field, that's good enough to win it.
And while Doonan may be the least experienced of the trio, you can discount him at your own peril.
He loves Wentworth Park. I think he's had 10 starts or something, and it was on my mind whether the owner should probably sell him a month or so ago, because, you know, even though he was running 29.70s, I was of the opinion I didn't think he'd handle it in the top grade, but he surprised me. He's moved up a level and he's handling it, so who knows? I mean, as I said, it's a lottery. Anything can win them.
Despite the riches on offer, it really is just another week at Clover Park. And if Jodie and Andy are nervous, they're certainly playing their cards close to their chest.
Surprisingly not. No, I don't. It's just another week really at the moment.
Yeah, it was more for
We're trying to keep things the same.
The Easter egg was more
Yeah.
That's the race I really wanted to win. It's not that I don't want to win the $1 Million Chase, but I believe the $1 Million Chase is for everybody. It's a lottery. And if you look at the final, we've got a 70-1 shot in it. The one that's, Chris Arletis' dog. If you asked them a week ago, do you think you were going to be in a $1 Million Chase? They'd have laughed at you. But they are, because it's like buying a lottery ticket, and I wouldn't be disappointed if I didn't win it. As long as I all get around safe, I've got no pressure on me whatsoever. As I said, I won the race that I wanted to win, so if I win this, will be a bonus.
It is the world's richest greyhound race, and Jodie and Andy Lord have 3 live chances of taking home the $1 million cheque. But don't expect them to be cheering when the boxes open.
I don't go the early crow. I'll wait till I get to the last turn, and even if I'm 4 in front, I say to Jodie, shut up, don't say nothing. Because I know anything can happen. I've seen them fall, I've seen them break down, I've seen all sorts of things. So, but when they go past the post, I was right.
Then he says, shut up for the time.
You've only got one pick. Tell me which one of your dogs thinks can win.
I'm going to go Coast Model.
I'll go Pearl. And Doonan and Coast.
Andy and Jodie Lord there, and Timmy, what a property. Had like the straight track, the puppy paddocks, the kennels. It's quite simply, as I said in the story, it is the preeminent greyhound facility in the world that I've seen, particularly here in Australia. It's an absolute credit to both of them.
Wowee, that was incredible. It's a marvellous property, and quite a surprise there. He's tipping Coast Model. Is that maybe a reverse mock, maybe, or is he playing the game there?
Yeah, and no, look, I can tell you, he's very bullish. He thinks that she can run that 5:35 to the first mark, and if she does run that, She's a Pearl has to run 5:27 to cross her. He's always believed She's a Pearl's a 5:30 to the first mark, which we saw her run in the heat 5:31. He's always had an opinion of Coast Model. He said she would have got great confidence out of winning off box 8 because she'd been smashed there a couple of times, particularly off the brother Sizzlefly. And he said to see her carve across and win last week, he said that was great. He said box 1, he said Richard Donner drawn to her outside, slow beginner, Photo Man runs a straight line, Good Odds Cash coming across onto She's a Pearl in the early stages. He just thought that the Coast could get that nice run up along the inside.
Makes a great case, and she's got an amazing chance. 3
runners for them in the final. Of course, Shona Thompson had 3 runners in a $1 million chase final, so the ladies are certainly to the fore. Hey, what about the fairy tale story with Zambitas for Chrissy Arlitos? 100-1 winner or 70-1 winner in the semi-final, running down Plaintiff. This is what the $1 million chase is all about. It's all about a dream, a fairy tale.
Absolutely, Duke. Everyone's in it to win it. Everyone's got a chance of winning $1 million. Look, I think it'd be a minor miracle if Zambitas does win the race, but gee whiz, it'd be a fairy tale story if he does.
Well, as Andy said, it's a greyhound race. Anything can happen. So, you know, as said, it's just that whole, it just adds to the theatre of it. And it's going to be an absolute cracker of a night. I cannot wait for Saturday evening at Wentworth Park. And don't forget our special showcase presentation, Battler. We are on air from around 6:10 p.m. on Saturday evening. You can watch that through all the normal streaming services, the Dog's website, the Dog's Facebook site, all of that. You can see our complete and comprehensive coverage on Saturday night. Our Fox League coverage, they drop into us at around 9:40 p.m. So we're looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to someone having a chance of winning $1 million for $20, Battler. You sure we can't go in there? So, I mean, if we film ourselves giving them the $20?
It's a G up, isn't it? It's a G up. I think, have we got any contacts? We can, you know, get a little
peanuts. We bust our backside. We work for peanuts. Well, I do. I know you don't. That's why you.
I've heard it all now. I've heard it all. Please.
I hope you've enjoyed this week's coverage of Behind the Boxes. We'll see you on Saturday night at Wentworth Park. Timmy, study up. We need to find winners, and it's going to be one of the night of nights.
Yeah, the pressure's on. But I've gone through pretty much 80% of the card now, Duke. Just got to find the other couple of winners and tip the card, eh?
Good on you, mate. I'll see you there on Saturday.
See you, Duke. Looking forward to it.
As I said, I hope you've enjoyed our coverage on Behind the Boxes this week. Don't forget, go to thedogs.com.au. Go to all our socials at Facebook and Twitter to catch up with all the latest news of the $1 Million Chase. I'm Mark Duclos. We'll see you next time on Behind the Boxes.